Amazon is doing everything they can to make the Rings of Power look loved, getting the shill media to say anything they want, like attacking critics, and the official Twitter accounts for the show and Prime Video ones put out a long statement about inclusivity, and if you dislike the show, you're just a racist. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I wanted to start off with this Bounding into Comics article. It says Prime Video follows Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi marketing strategy and accuses the Lord of the Rings fans of racism, yet provides no evidence. I have talked so many times about similar situations happening because this is what Hollywood does. They create something that is completely different than the source material or what a franchise has previously been, and then people get upset. And instead of just saying, hey, we hear your criticisms, we get it, you don't like it, your thoughts are valid, no, they just want to label us all as ists or phobes. It says Amazon Studios and Prime Video are following the marketing strategy laid out by the Walt Disney Company's Obi-Wan Kenobi to a T when it comes to their Rings of Power series. If you recall, actress Moses Ingram relayed to The Independent that Lucasfilm trained her to deal with the racist backlash that she would face. She explained it was something that Lucasfilm actually got in front of and said this is a thing that unfortunately likely will happen, but we are here to help you. You can let us know when it happens. And of course, when Obi-Wan came out, we were criticizing the show itself, the actual content. We didn't say we hated Reva because a black woman played her. We simply said it had a lot of problems, but of course, they just painted that as racist backlash so that they could get the media to praise them, so that they could go, well, we tried something new and it's not our fault that racists hated it. It says she would also antagonize Star Wars fans with the absurd claim that black people did not exist in the Star Wars universe, despite characters like Lando Calrissian and Mace Windu being some of the most beloved characters of the film franchise. They basically just wanted to go into this, have a female villain who was a black individual so that they could go, look at us, we're diverse, we're inclusive, we're making Star Wars what it's never been before, even though there have been black characters who were very important and very loved. Prime Video is following the exact same playbook. First, they cast Lenny Henry, Sophia Nomvet, Ismael Cruz Cordova as a hobbit, dwarf, and elf, respectively. Nevertheless, the actors were then antagonists towards the fan base. Nomvet led the charge at San Diego Comic-Con and in multiple media appearances, repeating a clearly canned message. But now, of course, the official social media accounts for this series have decided to come out and attack people who are criticizing this show. The official The Lord of the Rings on Prime account and also the Prime Video accounts both tweeted this out. It says, we, the cast of the Rings of Power, stand together in absolute solidarity and against the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse some of our castmates of color are being subjected to on a daily basis. We refuse to ignore it or tolerate it. J.R.R. Tolkien created a world which by definition is multicultural, a world in which free peoples from different races and cultures join together in fellowship to defeat forces of evil. Rings of Power reflects that. Our world has never been all white, fantasy has never been all white, Middle Earth is not all white. BIPOC belong in Middle Earth and they are here to stay. Finally, all our love and fellowship go out to the fans supporting us, especially fans of color who themselves are being attacked simply for existing in this fandom. These are such lies. We see you, your bravery and endless creativity, your cosplays, fan cams, fan art, and insights make this community a richer place and remind us of our purpose. You are valid, you are loved, and you belong. You are an integral part of the LOTR family. Thanks for having our backs. This is such bullshit. So first of all, they talk about standing against the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse that some of the castmates of color are getting. And of course, unfortunately, there's bound to be some people saying racist things because this is the internet. But saying that about anyone who dislikes this series that has a massive fandom surrounding it, there is no way that absolutely everyone who dislikes it is a racist. There is no possible way. Let me ask you all a question. How much rhetoric is coming from HBO and how much hate has been said about House of the Dragon? I'm sure there's been a few people, so why hasn't HBO said anything about these individuals? Because they don't need to defend their series. You only play the race card when you have no other cards to play. You only say that people are ists unless you have no other way to defend your content. I haven't enjoyed the Rings of Power. That's not because I'm a racist. That's not because I hate women. It's not because of all of these things. It's simply because the content in this show is not good. I've said a couple of things about it are decent, like the shots, the CGI is pretty great. The music is pretty great as well, but that's where my praise has to end. They have made this post to go, look at us, we did something different and we're taking heat for it. People hate this show because of the content that's in it. Everybody knows these companies are against racism. There's no company that supports racism. And to constantly say it just means they're virtue signaling. The only reason they'd repeatedly say this is because they're trying to cover for something else. If we go on over to Rotten Tomatoes, this show is getting bad scores because audiences simply don't like the content. And as you can see, even the head of Amazon Studios said, we're really proud of the cast that we have in the show. We welcome discussion and even criticism around the series. However, we will not condone racism. And I had tweeted, no, you don't. You have Amazon user ratings turned off and you have IMDb removing reviews under a 5. That doesn't sound like you're allowing people to criticize this show. When they first announced this show, I was very optimistic. I was very excited for it to come out because who doesn't want more Tolkien content? But unfortunately, this show just isn't good. It's new characters, new storylines. It doesn't feel like Tolkien, and ultimately, other people dislike this series, and now they're taking a lot of heat on social media because they can't accept that fact. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.